Good morning, everyone. Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. You can see the sun is just coming up. It is a beautiful April morning, and I wanted to give you all a tour of my back garden in April. I try and do a tour every single month, and even if I haven't been doing too much in the area, I still want to document it just to see kind of what's going on. I have to admit, I have not been paying much attention to the back garden. This past month, I've been really focused on the front garden, and the front garden is looking absolutely gorgeous. So make sure you check out the April front garden tour. I'll put a link in the description down below. But there's still fun things happening back here. I wanted to make sure that I got it on camera and I showed all of you. And this morning, the light was just so beautiful when I looked out the back of my house. I just thought, okay, I've got to grab my camera and I've got to go get this on camera at this time because it's just absolutely gorgeous back here right now. So grab your coffee, grab whatever drink you have, and let's get started. So I want to get started with my sweet peas. My sweet peas are looking absolutely gorgeous. You can see they're looking so good. It's even pulling down the Hortanova netting. I'm so afraid it's going to fall. We have the netting tied up to the T-posts with zip ties right here. So I got to come out here and I got to tie all of it up and get it a little bit tighter just because these sweet peas are so prolific. My plan for today is to harvest all of my blooms. That's what you want to do for sweet peas, is you want to continually harvest the blooms so that they keep blooming for as long as possible. So I want to do that today, but I wanted to make sure I got this on video before I took away all the blooms. And now in just a couple days, they are going to start blooming again. So it's not going to be a big deal, but I just wanted to make sure I got this on camera. So over here, we have Elegance Salmon Rose, just an absolute beautiful, it's almost like a bicolor. If you can see that, so gorgeous. And when the sun catches it, oh my gosh, it is amazing. I do have a couple other varieties thrown in here from last year that reseeded itself, and I just let it grow. And so I had planned to have them all separate and really organized, and that went out the door as soon as I saw some of the other varieties kind of sneaking up. I just love sweet peas, and I love all of the colors of the sweet peas, so I couldn't pull any of them out. Over here, I have one called Miss Wilmot, really pretty, kind of like a peachy, orangey salmon color, really gorgeous. Not as prolific as the Elegant Salmon Rose, but still really gorgeous. I got these from Swallowtail Seeds out of Santa Rosa, so those are really good. These, I'm pretty sure, are Johnny seeds right here. And then over here on this side, these two are from Renee's garden, Renee's seeds. We have Jewels of Albion, which is over here, and this is a little bit further behind. I only have maybe 2 blooms for this one over here and over here, kind of like a bluish, purplish color of sweet peas. But right here, this one is called Kupani, and this is kind of the classic sweet pea. It has the burgundy and the purple to it, and these are the original sweet peas that were found on, I think, the island of Sicily. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they are what all the sweet peas have come from. These are basically wild sweet peas, and you can see how absolutely beautiful they are and how prolific and how they're pulling down my netting. So you can see that sweet peas do need something to climb up, or they are just going to be a mass on the ground. A lot of people like to use hog wire, and I think next year I'll probably use hog wire because this Hortanova netting is just not enough for these prolific sweet peas. Really gorgeous. Just in front of the sweet peas, Lola, the duck, is watching over the Rudbeckia. I have Cherry Brandy Rudbeckia right here, and then right here I have one of my favorites, Prairie Sun Rudbeckia, and it is just starting to grow up and get really prolific. You can see I have plenty of weeds going on back here. I just have not been paying attention back here. I've been really focused on the front garden, like I was saying. I do have some garlic that's looking really good. It's getting there, and so that's been growing. I actually planted that last fall. And then up here in this next bed, I have some new look Dusty Miller that I actually want to pull. It's on my list of things to do that I'm going to pull it. It's really pretty. It's doing really good. I could probably transplant it, but this is so easy to start from seed. I tend to like the foliage of this plant only for cut flowers. I don't really like the blooms, so I would cut back the blooms anyway, but I want to use this bed for something else, so I do think that I'm just going to pull it. My front 2 beds I have plans to use for something else as well. I actually grew dahlias from seed here, and I have some of them coming back. So I have that one right there coming back, and I have a bunch over here in this bed coming back. And I was thinking about saving them and continuing them, but I've decided that I actually want to pull them, and I actually want to put zinnias all over in this bed. So that is another thing that I am planning to do today, which I'm really excited about. I did plant some hops rhizomes because I want my hops to grow up and along these posts. I think that that will be really pretty. So that one is starting to come up. Monty was having some fun in this bed. Yes, he does do that every once in a while. Very frustrating. And then I have that one there that I actually protected just to make sure it didn't get actually accidentally weeded. So hops are coming. Unfortunately, in this bed over here, we don't have any hops coming. I thought for a second this was hops, but this is a dahlia. So that's not going on. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to the hops in these beds. I think I might have to buy some new ones or break off a piece from the other ones that I planted, because my goal is to have hops growing up these posts right here so that I have a little bit more vertical foliage going on back here. Obviously, I don't want to plant any trees in this area or anything green, so I just wanted something growing up the posts, and I thought hops would be absolutely perfect. This bed back behind here, these are sweet peas. They are coming. They are just about to start blooming. I did not pinch these back, and they are super branched, and they are looking really, really pretty. And then over here, I have scabiosa. So this is Merlot scabiosa. So that should be really pretty as well. God, I got to get out in here and weed. This is my plan for today. It's good to see it though. It's good to see what's going on. I think these are zinnias, maybe? They're either zinnias or sunflowers. They look like zinnias to me, just because I always do cut flowers kind of back here, and so of course they will reseed itself, and I'll have to deal with that. And then I have this whole bed right here. I actually did sow some breadseed poppies, but they got weeded. So you can't, if you have help weeding, you can't get mad if things that accidentally get weeded. And it was my fault for not protecting it or, labeling it properly. So I don't have anything going on but weeds in this bed. So I'm going to weed this bed today too, and hopefully sow some good hot weather cut flowers is what my plans are for today. Then we have the greenhouse back here. I've been taking stuff out of the greenhouse and been putting it on the back porch, like the houseplants that I had back here. I do have this palm that I think is past its point. I think it got too dry and too hot back here, but I did want to show you guys my tomatoes that I am growing. So we are mid-April right now, and right now would be the time that you would sow your tomato seeds outside or transplant out your tomato plants. And I already have fruit, which is really exciting. So I've been growing these inside for a couple months now. They're doing really well, and I've been using these Oyas to water them, and it's just been absolutely fabulous. Even as hot as it gets here in this greenhouse, they are loving their life right now. So that's been kind of a really fun experiment to get tomatoes this early on in the season. Then just outside the greenhouse, I have my moon garden. What I am trying to do a moon garden this year. So I still need to go to the garden center, and I need to look for something tall to go behind all these low plants. First of all, I do have my iceberg rose standard or lollipop that's looking really good. There's buds all over it. It's about to burst open. Like any day it's going to burst open and look really, really beautiful. So that's a little bit of height, but I definitely need something back here. One of you gave me the suggestion of making a berm right here just for a little bit of height, and I love that idea. And now I'm obsessed with that idea, and I definitely want to do a berm right there. And I was actually talking to Raphael at Park Winners of making a hugelkultur berm, which is basically where you take logs and sticks and compost and things like that and pile it up and then cover it, and basically you let it compost itself. So I'm considering doing that. I think that that would be really fun and really functional as basically a place to put all my garden waste. So I definitely want to do something like that back here. Right here, I have my Stratosphere White Gara that is just about to start blooming. We're so close, almost there, but right in front of it, we do have the Supertunia Vista Snowdrift that's looking absolutely beautiful right now. And then we do have the Diamond Frostiforbia, which I have to say, I mean, maybe this is one of those plants that need a little bit of heat to get going, but this plant just doesn't perform very well for me. It kind of looks like it's on its last leg all the time, and I'll show you guys the pots in front of my metal workshop. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if I should just totally take away all the water. It's getting half gallon per hour right now. I don't know. I'm just not sure. This plant is just one of those plants that don't do very well for me. Kind of like a Volvulus blew my mind. That is a plant that I cannot get to perform really well for me either. It just doesn't do well in my garden. So hopefully that will start waking up a little bit and doing a little bit better. But for right now, it's just kind of looking okay. Let's see. And then back here we have some of these beautiful Camelot Mix Foxgloves that came back from last year. They're looking pretty good. I probably lost about half of them, but these came back and they're still looking pretty. I love them. And then I do have my Crepe Myrtle that is starting to leaf out back here. They're such babies. These are going to take forever to grow into something big, but I will be patient and I will let them grow because I think eventually they're going to look really, really good back here behind the greenhouse. I did direct sow some moonflower that I think will be really, really pretty for my moon garden. So you can see they're right here. This one got stuck in its shell. I just took the shell off, or the seed pod off. But they are growing well, and I am definitely protecting those because I don't want the birds or anything else to come and get them. And the goal is that hopefully they'll grow up and over the greenhouse and they'll be really pretty. Ooh, I have my first bloom and a lot of aphids. I gotta come squish those. Look how pretty that is. I love iceberg roses. I used to hate them. I was way too snobby and thought they were parking lot plants, but honestly, they're absolutely gorgeous. I love them. So over here, I'll show you my David Austin Darcy Bustle Rose. There's a little bit something going on with the leaves here. I'm not sure what's going on there. I might have forgotten to defoliate this rose. I can't remember. That would make sense why it looks like that. But anyway, this is what the rose looks like. Really pretty red color with kind of like a magenta undertone, I would say. I need to come and pick some of these for a cut flower bouquet. Then over here, I have to show you guys the fairy garden. Oh my gosh. This fairy garden is just, it's so, what a beautiful combination. We have the yellow snapdragons, the pink geraniums, the white cal lilies that are just my favorite, and then a little bit of white alyssum. Really beautiful. My girls are basically 10. She's birthday is on Sunday, and 11, and they're kind of past the point. We're kind of past that season of fairy gardens, but I can still do fairy gardens. I do think I want to move this fairy garden though, because it's right underneath our gorgeous olive tree, and I want to make sure the olive isn't getting too much water. So I do want to move these, but I am just enjoying these spring blooms so much. I'm going to wait until they tend to fade with the heat. So this is looking really gorgeous, and I just love this color combination. It is so spring. And then some other signs of spring is that my Summerific Hibiscus Ballet Slippers has come out of dormancy. I planted them all along this fence right here. It was, I ordered some of these from Walter's Gardens, which is the perennial supplier for Proven Winners, and they ended up sending me a box of bare roots, which was so fun. So I potted a lot of them up, and then I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, and I ended up having this blank, ugly fence right here that I wanted to cover. So I figured I would plant all of them in a line right here. So I planted them last year, loved them. I did get some blooms last year, but I really do think this year we're going to have really beautiful blooms. So we have those. I did direct seed some Verbena bonariensis here. I just kind of threw the seeds all around thinking like hopefully they would take and they would start blooming. They didn't. We just had two too much heat too soon, I think, or I don't know what happened, but they were definitely not happy, which is so funny because that plant is so prolific. Once it gets going, it will reseed itself absolutely no problem. So I thought for sure it would seed itself really easy here if I direct seeded them, and it just it just didn't. I also did foxgloves over here and they didn't take either. I think it's just a little bit too dry in my garden, and everything has to be hooked up to drip for it to take, or else it just won't be happy. I did want to show you guys how my silver dollar eucalyptus is doing. I just transplanted this probably a month ago. I got it as a gift from my friend Raphael at Park Winters. Like I was saying, he's the gentleman who told me about the hugelkultur berms. We transplanted this and you can see what a mature tree it is. I knew that it was going to be stressed out once I transplanted it. So you can see some of the foliage is kind of browned out and not very happy, but it is definitely still alive. The bark looks really good. It's still pliable, and when you scratch it, you can still see green. You can still see that it's happy. So I just have to basically baby this thing all year, and then hopefully next year it'll flush back out and it'll be super happy once it roots in. We did put a loop of drip irrigation around it, and so it's getting regular water, and hopefully it will take and it'll be able to handle it through its first year in this spot right here. Just next to the eucalyptus, I have my October Glory maple that was taking its sweet time flushing out. I was getting worried about it, and I was coming out and checking it every day to see if there was buds on it, and I guess I just didn't realize that October Glory maples took a little bit longer to flush out during the spring, but now it is coming. I have leaves that are coming. I love this tree. I love this tree so much. It was one of my favorite trees that we planted in Tree Fall last year, and I just cannot wait for it to grow and have shade. So we have shade coming over this way from my back door over to my office. I just think it is such a fabulous placement. I really want it to do well, and I want it to thrive. So I was really happy to see it leaf out, and I'm excited to see how well it does this year. So yeah, so the cut flower, the raised bed cut flower garden is doing well. I am planning to address it today, and I wanted to show you guys what it looked like in April, right before I started pulling things and sowing more seeds and all that kind of stuff. But overall, it's looking really good. Then coming in front of my office, I do have plans for what I'm going to do in front of my office, but that involves getting some new containers. I have been doing like a collection of pots in front of my office. I thought it looked really pretty last year, but this year I want to do a little bit more simple look and just have 2 containers on either side of the door. But that of course involves going and purchasing containers because I want big ones. So I definitely want to do that. I have plans for that, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Then I wanted to show you the Vigo beds over here. These are the extra tall olive green Vigo beds, and they have, right now, they have what is the last part of my ranunculus. Look at how many ranunculus I've had, you guys. Like, they have just kept blooming and blooming and blooming. They're absolutely crazy. I have a couple weeds in here as well. They are all ready to be pulled. Maybe not the butterfly. Those are still looking kind of good. These were corms, ranunculus corms that I ended up purchasing from a flower company called Fleur Farm, and they were a little bit more expensive than normal ranunculus corms. I wanted to really invest in my ranunculus corms this year, and they did not disappoint. I had more ranunculus than I knew. I still have more ranunculus than I know what to do with myself. Like, you can only have so many cut flower bouquets inside your house. So anyway, they were so absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed them so much, and I am going to pull them and I am going to save them because I did invest a lot in these ranunculus corms. I want to show you this one right here. Look at how interesting that is. What is this called? Pon Pon Magic. They are green, and then the tips are like this mauve-y color. They're the most beautiful, beautiful ranunculus. Oh my gosh, they're absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, I will be cutting these back, letting them soak in as much sun as they possibly can, and then I will be saving the corms for next year. Well, I should say this fall, because I plant my corms in the fall. I could absolutely leave the corms corms here in here, but I do want to plant something else in these raised Vigo beds. It's, you know, it's prime planting space with the raised beds. So I think I'll just pull the corms, save them, and then plant them again in the fall, or maybe plant them somewhere else. Maybe plant them in some of the raised beds. I had this little empty spot right here, so I ended up planting a bunch of my absolute favorite strawberries. They're called Seascape strawberries. I've actually gotten a couple of them, but you can see some more that are growing right here. I do want to put some straw or hay or something like that under here, just so I can protect the strawberries. This looks like a tomato. Why do I have a tomato? Maybe I should leave it. That would be really convenient. Anyway, so I got lots of strawberries over there. I've got more strawberries over here. I have my geranium matarense that is, I mean, it's about to bloom. It's about to go crazy. I think in May it's going to start blooming, which is where you have that beautiful big bloom stalk on top. It's called a gigantic geranium, and it is just one of my favorite plants. And then right behind that, you can see I have my pink lemonade honeysuckle that is looking so good. Oh my gosh, it is looking so good. I planted these for one of my blooming gardens. I cannot remember which month. I think I planted it for a blooming garden. I'm blanking right now. I have my pond that I haven't done much with. I got to come out here and I got to fix it. I did put some BT pellets in there just to make sure I didn't have any mosquitoes growing. But I still want to get the mosquito fish. I just haven't got my hands on it. And then right behind that, I have the Gertrude Jekyll climbing rose that is, I have some buds that is just about to come. It's just so pretty. Oh my gosh. And there's a toad house. So I had a couple people tell me that, so I put this pond here because we have so many toads in the garden, and I wanted to keep the toads back here. And I had people tell me that frogs live in water and toads don't, but toads actually need water, a source of water, to have babies. And so that's why I have the pond. So it's good to have a source of water for toads, even though I don't like the toads. I don't like them, but it's good to have them. These are my geranium cuttings that are looking really good. These are Martha Washington geraniums that are beautiful. And these are just some of the regular pink geraniums that I am planning to plant out into my long border. They are almost ready. I'm just waiting for signs of roots down here, not quite. And then here I have a bunch of sunflowers that I sowed, and they're almost ready to go. The one that didn't germinate was Chocolat, but that was a very, very old pack of seeds, so I'm not really surprised. So these guys are almost ready to transplant out, and I will be transplanting those into the front garden, or maybe back here. I might transplant them back here as well. Right in front of the chicken coop, I did want to show you all, I do have lilacs blooming back here, which is really fun because actually where I live, we're so hot that lilacs don't always tend to do very well. I wish I remembered the name of this lilac. If anyone knows, it's a Monrovia plant. It's a white one, and it is one that is supposed to do well for us with warmer climates. And you can see it is beautiful. It is so beautiful, and it smells so good. It's this gorgeous white color. And I have to tell my friend Blair, who grew up in Missouri, and she said that she grew up with lilacs growing outside of her bedroom window, and it just reminds her of home, the smell of lilacs. And now that she lives here in California, she misses lilacs. So I have to tell her about these. Then I have this one over here. This is a Proven Winners one that's looking so good. This just started blooming like yesterday or the day before, and it is looking absolutely amazing. Now I did want to show you guys the pots in front of the metal workshop. They are looking really good. I planted these up with Tiara Blue Supertunia. Gorgeous. The unplugged white salvia, a little bit of dichondra silver falls, and then of course that diamond frost euphorbia that's just, it's kind of getting swallowed up right now by the other plants. So hopefully it kind of starts up and it starts growing, but right now the other plants are just looking absolutely beautiful in its spot. You can see over here, here's another, look how, oh, it's just so pretty. This Tiara series of Supertunias, I hope they come out with more colors. I know they're not coming out with more colors next year, but I hope in the future they come out with more colors because I just cannot get over how pretty it is. And then look at that. Look at that diamond frost. Yeah, so I don't know. Now on my back porch, I have these hanging baskets here that I have this mangave in. And last year I had Dichondra Silver Falls, and that was the only thing I had. I decided to add in some Super Tunia Vista Jazzberry into these hanging baskets, which is pushing it with the amount of space that these hanging baskets have. And I don't think that they're going to be, I think this is probably the last year that I can have these mangave in here. But I did want some color, and they are starting to look really good, and they are filling out. And I just love, oh, look, looks like I got my bloom stock. So the mangave, once they start blooming, that's pretty much it. They're pretty much done. So I had a feeling I was going to be about done. These hummingbirds are just eating me out of house and home. I fill this thing up like every other day. I'm not even kidding. And look, you can see they're not even scared of me. I'm standing right next to it. I love it. It's my favorite thing, but my goodness, they eat a lot. So anyways, these baskets right here, I think that they're looking really good. And I do think that the mangave are just about done, but at least I can have these jazzberry to add color there this year, which I think will be great. I have my Kiss Me Kate rose that's looking good on my metal screen right here. Has some buds on it. So we are so close to rose season where we're going to start getting a lot of blooms. I'm really excited. Then coming over here to my secret garden, I was out here this morning before I started filming, and I need to have some words with my husband because you can see this thuya is looking very crispy, and then this one over here is looking very crispy as well, and I cannot find the drip emitter that's supposed to go to it, and that's he takes care of the drip irrigation, which is so great, right? So wonderful, but I don't think these are hooked up to drip, or at least they're not working properly. So I might be replacing those, which is unfortunate, but luckily thuyas are not that expensive to replace. Then I have some Jack Frost Brunnera right here that actually last year during the summer, it ended up dying completely back, and I thought it died, but I think it was just the heat of the summer just caused it to die back, and then it came back with a vengeance this spring. So maybe it's just a spring plant for us for Brunnera, but it does have these beautiful blue blooms that I've been blooming, I don't know, for a couple weeks now. So really gorgeous. Love that plant, but I can't really expect that plant to last all through the summer. I can expect the Surefire White to last all through the summer. Those came back right here. They're not blooming yet, but they should be blooming soon. This is why I have to fill up my fountain like every single day. This is his watering spot. This is also why I don't put anything in the fountain. Like, there's that stuff that you can keep algae out of it and everything like that. And because he drinks, this is like his main drinking bowl. Because he drinks out of this, I just leave it and just clean it out pretty often. So anyway, we love that fountain there. I love the sound of it. I'm so glad we finally got it working well, because I just love it. And now I want more fountains all around my garden. I did want to point out all the heuchera that I have. They are looking so good right now with all of the blooms. It is just that time of year that heuchera is looking absolutely gorgeous. And then I do have my false hydrangea vine that looks like it's getting attacked by something. These look like earwigs. I'll have to, so what I'll do for that is I'll put some Sluggo down, just to make sure they leave it alone. So, those will hopefully be growing up the side of the house. I have one over here on this side too, and I think it's going to look really pretty as it develops and matures and everything. So everything over here is looking pretty good. Again, I haven't been putting too much attention or focus on this area. I've been trying to follow Michael Glassman's advice of really focusing on one area at a time, and that area lately has been my front garden and mainly my center island. So anyway, this area and the backyard isn't getting as much love as it needs, but I will get back here soon, I'm sure. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Make sure that you get out there and you take video or pictures of your own garden, even if you're not loving it. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm not loving this area back here, but I also haven't put too much time or energy and focus onto it this past month, but I still wanted to make sure that I got it on camera, not only to share with all of you, but just to have a record of it for myself. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a chance to get in your garden today.